We are going to talk about gripping. When we are gripping, the fingers are wrapped around an object with counter pressure from thumb, which involves metacarpophalangeal joint. In the metacarpophalangeal joint, flexion and adduction are considered to be primary movements. Flexion of thumb is mainly produced by flexor pollicis brevis, aided by the flexor pollicis longus muscle. Flexion of digits 2 to 5 are produced by the flexor digitorum superficialis, flexor digitorum profundus, lumbricals, and flexor digital minimum brevis. Abduction of the thumb is produced by the abductor pollicis longus and the abductor pollicis brevis. The abduction of the fifth digit is produced by the abductor digital minimi. The abduction of the fingers 2 to 5 is produced by the dorsal interossei muscles. Eventually, flexion and adduction of both the thumb and digits 2 to 5 lead to the action of gripping.
After describing the metacarpals, now we are going to describe the actions of elbow extension and wrist extension. So, triceps is actually the prime mover of elbow extension. Also, anconeus is also for elbow extension, but it is actually a weak extensor. So, anconeus has an extra function, which is the dynamic stabilizer of elbow. For wrist extensors, extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis, and extensor digitorum are all wrist extensors. All the muscles mentioned above contract concentrically when doing extensions.
For the left shoulder, which is the glenohumeral joint, there are two main movements involved at the moment: adduction and flexion. In a glenohumeral joint abduction, supraspinatus, deltoid, trapezius, and serratus anterior were involved. First, the left supraspinatus contract concentrically and initiate the first 15 degrees of the shoulder abduction. The acromial part of the left deltoid muscle contract concentrically after 15 degrees abduction. Trapezius and serratus anterior work together to perform a scapular upward rotation, leading to shoulder abduction and flexion. For shoulder flexion, the clavicular part of the left deltoid was involved in this movement, also producing medial rotation of the left arm. The left pectoralis major and coracobrachialis will also contract concentrically to perform a glenohumeral joint flexion.
In this video, Cherry did a plantar flexion, accompanied by lateral and posterior leg elevation to get a box of apple juice. For plantar flexion, a few posterior leg and lateral leg muscles are involved, from superficial muscle to deep muscle. Gastrocnemius, soleus, and plantaris contract concentrically. They are all strong plantar flexors, except for plantaris. For deep posterior leg muscles, tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus are the main plantar flexors, while flexor hallucis longus is a weak plantar flexor. They all contract concentrically in this action. For lateral leg compartment, fibularis longus and fibularis brevis are the main plantar flexors. In order to grab on the floor and stabilize the body, feet flexors are involved. The first layer is flexor digitorum brevis. The second layer consists of lumbricals 1 to 4 and quadratus plantae. The third layer consists of flexor hallucis brevis and flexor digiti minimi brevis, while the deepest layer involves of plantar and dorsal interossei.